Good morning, everyone. Hey, it's another rainy day, and I think we're going to have to ride in rain all day today. I apologize for that because our video will probably reflect that. I'm not sure we'll get a clear view of the mountains. Maybe we'll catch a break and we'll get some intermittent rain in places, but the radar doesn't look real favorable to us. So we're going to go get some breakfast here, and then we'll be on the road to Homer, Alaska. See you then. We just went out for breakfast. It's still raining a little. And there's that big mountain. Anyway, we're off to Homer today. Without question, we are going to get rain, and lots of it. But we catch a break. The rain clears as we ride through the mountains. Lucky us. However, let's start that ride through town first, and I'll start off with the Iditarod. The Iditarod race commemorates Leonard Seppala's serum run from Nenano to Nome, Alaska, saving the residents from a diphtheria outbreak. Facing the coldest winter in 20 years, with wind speeds as high as 110 miles per hour and wind chill as low as minus 116 degrees Fahrenheit, through a frozen wilderness, he delivered life-saving serum after mushing over 600 miles. This 1925 act of bravery is nothing short of heroic and is nowadays memorialized with the 1,000-mile Iditarod race. I'm sure there are other mushing races, but the Iditarod is the most famous and prestigious. It is still a harrowing endeavor, with some teams unable to finish. Winning the race is full of hard work, endurance, and a little luck. Bravo to Alaska and the fierce competitors who keep this tradition alive. As we climb back up into the mountains past Kenai Lake, the clouds surrounding the mountaintops are starting to dissipate. We'll be able to get some good video and present to you how beautiful this area is. The ride to our turnoff is only 37 miles, but this ride past the Trail Lakes and Moose Pass is very scenic, with the mountains going up nearly vertical in the avalanche areas. Moose Pass only has about 220 residents. But if you're looking for a place to stay that's away from it all, then this area has to be considered. One is only about 45 minutes away from Seward if you really need something. I regret not stopping for lunch here on our way in. Just outside of town is Johnson Pass Trail. Once a part of the original Iditarod Trail, one can hike the 23-mile trail by Alpine Lakes up in the mountains. That would be really cool. We pass by several marked avalanche areas. This is of no concern to us in the summer, but winter travelers are reminded not to stop in these sections. At Turn Lake, we meet up with Alaska Highway 1. We'll turn west across the peninsula towards Soldotna. Here, the landscape will change from mountainous to a more level plain that resides along Cook Inlet. The Quartz Creek and Russian River area is a fishing hotspot. There are numerous campgrounds and lodges to be found here. We were told that the Russian River area is a great place to see bears. We'll have to keep our eyes peeled to see if we see any. As I mentioned, this is a fishing hotspot, with Cooper Landing being the epicenter. Here you'll find lodging and fishing guides. The Kenai and Russian rivers are at the heart of the salmon fishery on the peninsula. This also explains the bears. The Kenai Peninsula Wildlife Refuge is nearly a 2 million acre preserve. Over half of the refuge is designated a wilderness area, which further protects the habitat and animals. There's plenty of things to do and see here. If one is RVing, then this would be a great place to stay a few days. Soldotna is a proper city with all the amenities one could need. It serves as a hub for the central Kenai Peninsula and is situated between Anchorage and Homer. Clam Gulch, Alaska sits right along Cook Inlet and has about 200 residents. Although one is just off the water, you really can't see the coast from the highway until you get a little closer to Homer. The ride from Nanilchik to Homer is beautiful. There are rolling hills and woods everywhere. We are getting very close to our destination now. The highway between Nanilchik and Anchor Point has offshoot roads that either head into the bush or to the coast. There's no question that there are many hidden residents here. Like the rest of Alaska residents, they seem to be a mix of native communities and European and Russian explorers and adventurers. Some of these coastal towns still bear their Russian influence in churches and graveyards. More modern Americans also reside here, but whether they're past or present, they all have a hardy fortitude. There isn't much in Anchor Point, Alaska, but they can claim the most western point in the North American highway system. Pretty cool, really. As we turn east towards Homer, you can see by my mittens that we are geared up for cold weather. Between the rain and cool temperatures, our cold weather gear is the only way to stay somewhat comfortable. At the Homer Bay Crest Overlook, one can see Cook Inlet and the mountains across the bay. Yes, there is still snow in the mountains in August. As we descend, we could even see the glaciers. Unfortunately, that didn't show up in our video. Due to a slight mix-up in our lodging booking, we were upgraded to a room overlooking the ocean. How cool is that, huh? We also lucked out with our restaurant. We were looking for something a little fancier than fast food. We found AJ's Steakhouse on the internet, but were initially turned away for a lack of a reservation. As we were walking back out to the parking lot, the maitre d' motioned us back inside. How kind they were to seat us without a reservation, and it was a mighty good meal, too. Kudos to their customer service. With full bellies, we drive out onto Homer Spit. There's a whole little community out there with hotels, restaurants, and marine activities. I'll assume that most of the glacier tours originate from here. It is definitely worth riding out there. We all came away with the feeling that Homer, Alaska would be a great place to visit again. Here's Mike and Sherry with the day's recap. Wow, what a fun place and what a good time we've had tonight. We went to one of the local restaurants. It's a steak restaurant, and by reservation only, which I tried to call them a couple times to see whether or not we needed a reservation. They didn't answer. So we went there, and they were like, "Oh, we're sorry." But then the guy decided to let us in, so it was a really good dinner for steak dinner. Mom got some halibut, which is kind of a local specialty here in Homer. So everybody had a great meal. We had a fun time. And the clouds that had come in right after we arrived, we had pretty clear skies when we got here, but then they turned cloudy and rainy a little bit. But now it started to clear off ever so slightly. And our hotel here is right on the ocean or the sound here. And just absolutely beautiful. And I think we're going to take a walk down to the beach a little bit later. But I hope you liked the video today, even though it was kind of rainy. It sure ended up on a high note here. We'll see you tomorrow as we head back to Anchorage. See you then. Take care.
There's the state flower. And I love this grass. So I think this was the funnest day so far. We got upgraded and we're right along the water. I tried to walk down to the beach with Mike, but with my sandals it wasn't such a good idea, and I fell. And I thought I had to get some help, but I rolled over and got up, and then I went barefoot and I almost fell again. So I'm like, okay, here's my sign. I went back up to the top and I found an alternate path that had more grass I could grab hold of. But I should have worn my water shoes because Mike had no problem. But anyway, all in all, what a fun day. We had a beautiful day. We had a beautiful meal. We just had fun. Even though it rained, it was just beautiful. We saw the glacier here. So anyway, we actually said, hey, Homer is one of those places we'd like to come back to. So again, here's our front door view. It's so beautiful. Anyway, we're going back to Anchorage tomorrow. Getting up, I guess we're leaving around 8. So Homer's been one of the best places so far.